everyone, it's Rainice. So I decided that I need to start introducing myself as Rainice, because I have a really big problem when people I don't know, and more importantly, people I don't like, call me Ray, because Ray is a nickname, and that's for people who I'm friends with and care about, and some of my family members. It's a privilege to be able to call me Ray, and if I don't know you, and more importantly, don't like you, you don't deserve that privilege. So yes. Anyway, I'm Rainice. It is finally lovely in the Twin Cities. It's so warm out. I wore shorts and it was great, and shorts with a t-shirt, and I wasn't cold. And it was raining a few days. It's been raining for a few days. It's finally really just sunny and nice out. I'm excited to open up, drink a beer, and read a book on the porch today. That's my plan later on. Anyway, oh my god, my eyebrows are just everything. Anyway. So I made a video. I made a plan to make a video today about talking about the ways in which people use me as a resource and how they forget that I'm human. So essentially, someone who always asks me questions about race, they only see me as black, and they forget that I'm black and do things like I'm black and I also go to college, or I am black and I have hopes and dreams, you know. So but I need to set that aside because today I woke up this morning. Actually, let's be real, this afternoon, and I scrolled through Facebook, and there's this girl that I went to high school with, and she is a hot mess. Actually, that's a nice way of putting it. She's more of an oil spill. See, hot messes you can clean up and get together. An oil spill, you're gonna feel the effects of that for a while. So she's kind of an oil spill, and she's just a train wreck waiting to happen. To be real, and I keep her on my Facebook because it is so entertaining. Her statuses sometimes is just whew, at least my life has not come to that yet. But she's living her life and being happy and providing me free entertainment on Facebook. But she does this thing where she also spends a lot of time posting links. So one of the videos she posted today was of a woman rejecting this guy. So I'll try to find the link and post it. But so essentially this woman starts recording this guy, and he comes up to her and he's like, "How you doing? What's your name?" And she's like, "I don't have no name." And he responds, "Oh, that's real rude. You real rude." And she's like, "No, you're rude for coming up to me." And I was like, good for you, sister. Good for you. That is so right. This woman is in the store looking for juice boxes, and you over here messing with her. Why? And I was thinking that other people would see that this woman is trying to not be harassed. I was wrong. I put way too much faith in humanity. So I'm just going to read a few of these comments because I want to, before I go into, why I'm so upset and, angry and making a video about this, I just want to read a few of the comments. And, the internet tells us not read the comments, and, I always do, man. I always do. So, if all the girls recorded videos like this, there would be millions of them online. He took a shot, missed. What the hell is a big deal? He approached her, she declined, but she didn't have to put this guy on blast online like this. Unnecessary attention. 8.1K. That's how many likes this video has. You can't even be polite to these bitches nowadays. 4,500 likes. He should have punched that cock-eyed bitch in her face. 4,200 likes. You approach garbage and you get garbage. It's simple. Her response is a reflection of her personality, and you dodged a bullet with this, bro. 2,200 likes. I think she was rude. She could have gave him any name and just told him she wasn't interested. 2,500 likes. It was the way she said no. That was the issue. That was what the issue was. She could have been polite about it. Then telling him he's rude for coming up to her and asking after he told the truth about herself. Shaking my head. And when he told her she was rude, he was nice about that. Most dudes these days would have cursed her out and called her all kinds of bitches. Maybe if he would have said, hey bitch, what that mouth do, she would have been more inclined to talk. ... LOL. Shaking my head. Hashtag girl bye. 2,300 likes. At least he approached her respectfully. He could have been like, damn bitch, look at that fat ass on you. What's your name? LOL. 1,300 likes. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna just stop there because I feel like if women watch this video, I think they would know how this feels. And as someone who is often viewed as a woman or read as a woman, um, I'm really surprised by these comments. Mainly because a lot of people posting these are women. I think only 2 of those comments came from people who are visibly looking like what society has told me a woman or a man, or what society has told me a man looks like. Yeah, I like looked at them a little bit. I think I feel confident saying that only 2 of those people identify as men. Problem with that. I have a real big problem with that. Because we are really insinuating that a woman has to be okay with a man coming up to her and hitting on her. That just isn't the case in any way, shape, or form. So I want to break this down. I'm gonna go like comment. I'm gonna look at particular comments with my responses. For the woman who said, "At least he approached her respectfully," I have a question for you. If I come up to you and say, "Hey, I want you to give me $1,000 to invest in this business, and that way, and you'll see a return," does it change the fact that I'm about to steal? Like, does it matter that I was nice to you and I stole your money versus someone who came up to you and just took your purse? Does it matter? Does it change the fact that, like, I was respectful? I don't think so. I think no matter what, you're about to be pissed because you just lost $1,000. Right? To the woman who said it was the way she said no, I have news for you. It actually doesn't matter how a woman says no. I think it's the way that he thought he had the right to have an answer. That he thought it was totally okay to, like, go up to this girl. And I want to be clear, until we only see 25, 30 seconds, I believe, of this video. But this woman had enough time to get her phone out, and start recording, right? So she knew that this was coming. This man had been following her. So she knew to pull out her phone to record this guy. I want us to think about that. And how are we saying that's not harassment? Like, what? You can't even be polite to these bitches nowadays. I don't think there's anything polite about coming up into my space and being mad when I don't want you there. Because, like, she wasn't rude. She responded to someone interfering with her day. And, like, I know men, and apparently people, I would just say, I know some people don't see it that way, but at the end of the day, she was not rude. She was annoyed because she's in the middle of grocery shopping. Like, she's like, you can see her in the store with a friend. She's grocery shopping, and this man still thinks that it is okay to interfere with her grocery shopping so he can try to get some. Like, are we okay? Okay, that's not cool. Like, it doesn't matter if you're polite if you're interfering with my life. Like, I think of this, the way I think about this is, like, when I'm studying and doing homework, I really don't want people bothering me. Like, if I have my headphones in and I'm doing homework, I've made it really clear that I don't want to be bothered. Like, I think, like, it's really clear that I'm not trying to be bothered. Like, keeping it 100. So, like, I don't care if you bother me to ask me if I want cookies. The point is that I'm giving off a lot of signals that I don't want to be bothered, and here you still are in my face. And yeah, and then this is the comment that I think, like, just it took me for a spin. He should have punched that cockeyed bitch in her face. The person who was saying this is a woman. And I was just like, holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. You legitimately just said he should have punched her in the face because she didn't want to talk to him. You actually just said that. You just said that this woman who has no attachment to this man, who is minding her business going grocery shopping and is bothered by the fact that someone is interfering with that, should have been punched in the face. Wow. I when I read that, I actually like stopped and was like, oh my god, because I just couldn't comprehend. I was like, oh no, mm-mm. And then to the dude who was like, oh, if you approach garbage, you get garbage. It's simple. No, that's not true. I feel like you just made this like big like assumption about this girl, and like he also like just started like. There's also a lot of comments calling this woman ugly. She's actually like gorgeous, if you ask me. But he's like, her response is a reflection of her personality. No, it's not. Her response is like a reaction to like being harassed. She is being harassed. Like I'm over saying like, oh, he's hitting on her. No, this man is following this woman around the store while she is trying to get juice with her friend, and it is very clear that she doesn't want anything to do with him. And still there he is, and he gonna call her rude after he just walked around following her? No, I'm not rude. Like, I'm protecting myself. You just followed. I'm a smile on your face because you followed me. So yes, I was in my feels this morning. I was like really angry about it. I was just like, dang it, shouldn't read the comments. Here I was like putting faith in humanity, and there it was like flying away with the wind because, But I think like, black folks, we say this thing when we have house Negroes. Yes, Kanye, I am looking at you. When we have house Negroes that like say things like race isn't important and you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, and I don't really think this was that racist. We have this line that we say, "Not all skin folk are your kinfolk," and that is just the realest thing to say. Like, we all just like, some of us, we just kind of look at each other and we like have that thought. Like, if you see my best friend and like we see some black person saying some crazy ridiculous stuff, talking about some racism isn't real, we'll just look at each other and we're thinking, not all skin folk is our kinfolk. And here's an example. I want to like tell women, I think that you guys need a phrase like this. Like, y'all need a phrase like this. And I've been thinking about this, and I've come up with, not all genfolk, Gen, is your kinfolk. Because, like, those are, they trying to throw y'all under the bus. Why y'all mad he approaching you? Like, you should be happy someone thinks you're beautiful. No, that is not how I feel women should feel. I do not agree with that. As someone who is read as a woman far too often, that is not how I feel. Like, there is nothing more frightening to me, actually, than street harassment. Especially when it's, like, late at night and, like, there's no one around. Like, there's nothing more frightening to me than that. Than someone being like, hey, baby. Or, like, I think you're beautiful. What's your name? Like, that's terrifying. I should not be happy that he finds me beautiful. So, yes, I think I'm going to roll with that. Not all genfolk are your kinfolk. And, like basic concept. Like, here's a really basic concept that I've come to love and appreciate. As a human being, I belong to me. Like, that's it. I belong to me. And what that means for me, in a lot of ways, is that I don't have to do anything for anyone. I have to do things for me. And when I do things for human beings, and when I act a certain way for human beings, there's something that I'm getting, right? I'm doing that for me in some way. So I think there are times where I act like, I will be really upset with someone's actions, but let it go, or act like things are cool. And there's like, I'm getting something out of that. Normally, it is someone who's like has more power than I am, and I'm getting to use their power. I will be clear, like, there are times where, like, people say racist things to me, but, like, they're signing checks that I need them to sign, so I'm gonna just, like, smile and keep it moving. Call me a sellout, that's fine. But I, like, and, like, for me, that's, like, a really important concept. Like, when I'm, like, feeling uncomfortable with spaces, or I'm comfortable with someone, the way someone's talking to me or anything, I just go, I belong to me. And then I, like, react how I want to react, because I'm about making sure I'm happy and content in that moment. And as people, we belong to it. So, like, I think if I belong to me, you belong to you, he belongs to himself, she belongs to herself, they belong to themselves, Z belongs to Z self. Like, we belong to ourselves, right? Um, and with that means that when someone doesn't want to talk to you, they're not rude. They just belong to themselves. And they don't have to talk to you. Like, they don't. And I think the problem with this, like, the thing that, like, has been getting at me when I see this video, and the way, not just the way that people responded, but the way the man in the video actually responded, like, I think my issue is that he approached this woman expecting her to be happy and expecting her to be okay with his presence, right? Um, and I think a lot of people do that, like, a lot, and, like, moving it outside of street harassment, and sexual harassment, which this is, I think a lot of people expect themselves to be met with positivity, like, that someone's automatically happy that you are gracing them with their presence. And when that person says, like, actually, I belong to me, I don't have to grace you with my presence, um, that's unsettling, and it hurts, and it hurts us as people when people aren't like, oh my god, you're here, I'm so happy for you, I'm so happy you're here. But at the same time, that's cool. Like, we have to realize that they don't consent to our presence, and that's real, and, like, they're not rude, they're just belonging to themselves. And, like, I want to say that I do think, like, there's some times where we can, like, challenge that notion, particularly around people who are racist, classist, sexist, transphobic, etc. I do believe those are like, we can challenge that. But I think in this case, this man walked up to a woman and was like, "You're rude because you don't want my presence," and, like, that's not cool. Like, I think, like, outside of thinking about harassment, I think it's like, how are we asking people to consent to our presence? Is really what I've been thinking a lot about after watching this video, because I saw this video, like, maybe 5 hours ago, and I've just, like, I've still been thinking about it. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave that. I'll leave this video there with the concept of, like, one, not all kinfolk are your kinfolk, and two, we belong to ourselves. And if I belong to myself, you belong to yourself. And how are we consenting to each other's presence when we're together? So yeah, thank you. I will be back with a goofy video sometime soon.